So let's pick up that conversation then on today's proceedings before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, joined now by security expert, legal practitioner and former Western Cape Police Commissioner, Dr. Lennit Max, to unpack the latest developments and what they could mean going forward. Good evening and thank you for your time, Dr. Max. Let's start with the developments around Tumelongu and the concerns about his safety that have been voiced by the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And I suppose the context is that after he gave his initial testimony, he says he consulted his spiritual advisor and then was coming back with more details with a revised statement, and that's the process through which they've been going. What do you make of the development that says there's now a concern around his safety?
Yes, good evening first. Yes, I had that fear since the beginning of his testimony because he is claimed to be an informer and he exposed himself now to the public eye. And you got also now the people involved in this drug smuggling, and he actually, infiltrated them. And obviously he will become a target. And I'm not surprised that he is concerned about his safety. But on the other hand, the more information which he is giving is welcome, because we need to find out exactly what are these causes of these particular crimes and to enable the police to address it thoroughly. So he's a very important witness because you've got inside information and they will try to silence him.
Yeah, in fact, let's say a bit more about that, Dr. Max. At the very least, regardless of what one thinks of his initial testimony and the degree to which he was candid or otherwise with the commission, at the very least, he was aware of the movement of at least one truck, one consignment of drugs that ended up being at the heart of what was known as the Aeroton bust. Where does that place him in the nexus between the underworld, the cartels that are responsible for drug smuggling, as well as law enforcement officials that are on the borderline of these realms?
Yes, I got the sense that he's a double agent. He played his role both sides to see where he can benefit. On the one hand, he's infiltrated into these drug syndicates, and on the other hand, he pretend to be on the side of law enforcement. So his responses for me is not that very confident responses, and I really don't think that. My personal view is I don't think he's honest enough to tell the true stories. But yeah, he will remain a risk and a security threat, as well as a target by the criminal elements. We saw the last time when the two gentlemen in Hout Bay in Cape Town, when they attended the meeting in Johannesburg or Pretoria, after unsuccessful drug smuggling operation, that a syndicate allegedly murdered them, both of them, and actually put their bodies into cement and dump it into a river, and so on. So yes, those people are very vicious, and he must be careful that he might be a target and he might get out taken out soon. But we got also the others. We are used to the fact that one of the witnesses was killed, and there's a text on certain witnesses. So Africa is a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we can get to the bottom of this cancer in the police, to restore confidence in the police, and that we can focus on the constitutional
Right.
obligations as enshrined in the Constitution.
So let's turn then to the expected appearance before the commission of Vusumu's Ket Matlala. That's next week on Tuesday. What are your expectations around his testimony, given everything that has been said and implied about how deep and how wide his alleged criminal tentacles run?
Yes, he already exposed certain people at ad hoc committee, and he alleged that he handed over 500,000 rand to a former minister. So, on the one hand, I must say, I'm a bit disappointed by the magistrate who turned down that a great sentencing, um, the plea bargaining between him and the state, because he's a very important witness. He know who he actually bribed and how far their involvement into this criminal activities. He appears to be the kingpin in most of these allegations. And I think the magistrate make a serious blunder, because if he gets only 5 years, the fact is that is not the only charge against him. He's standing a trial for other serious charges. And as we know, if he gets a 5 years on this one in exchange for information, which is so valuable to put the government into a position to get to those other criminals within uniform, then it's important to allow this deal. On the other hand, when he gets 15 years for the other crimes, that these sentences run concurrently, as not to say he must get now 15 years and again 15 years, and it prolonged the sentence. Not at all.
But
It
but
runs
but
concurrently, and I think we miss an opportunity here
but
to
hang
get
on,
to the
Dr. Max.
real culprits.
But hang on, Dr. Max. Aren't your fears and worries and concerns obviated by the existence of a minimum sentencing regime as far as the crimes for which he has pleaded guilty are concerned, your fraud and corruption? Doesn't that make up for it, that once you're convicted of that, at the very least, if I understand correctly, you are looking at least 15 years, and perhaps, and I'm just putting it as a counterpoint, perhaps the magistrate feeling that 8 years, where 15 years was a possibility, is simply not in the interest of justice?
No, I think the prosecutor explained the situation very well to the court. And that is because there's other charges. If you give him 15 years now, and he's getting 15 years in the other crimes, convictions, and sentenced in the other crimes, or 15 years, it remains 15 years. If he gets 5 years
Yeah.
in this case and he gets 15 years in the others, it's concurrent. He will run the 15 years.
Yes.
What is important here is to get that information. I got my own ideas who might be involved.
Yeah.
And he's a very, very important witness to assist the state to get to those who abuse power.
Yeah.
Instead of serving the community, is committing crime. And he is a very, very important witness. I don't know what is going to happen in the Madlanga Commission, but most probably he will also reiterate and repeat what he said in front of the ad hoc committee.
Sure.
But as I understand, that the deal which he actually concluded with the prosecution is not only an affidavit, but he got also supporting documents. And that is very, very important to ensure a conviction.
I get you. Thank you for your time and your insights this evening.
You're welcome.
That is security expert, legal practitioner, and former Western Cape Police Commissioner, Dr. Lennit Max, weighing in on the goings-on at Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.